Hello and welcome in. I am creating some videos for each sign based on your rising sign that will contain intuitive guidance just for you if you identify with the Sisterhood of the Rose. In this guidance, what I'm going to be calling in is guidance from the Marys within these cards. And I am going to be asking them to tell us a story for each rising sign of what is really opening and unfolding with the current astrological energy, which we all know we've been going through extreme transits. There's been a lot happening. And something really opened up through the solar eclipse for many people, the solar eclipse that happened April 8th. And then we had that huge Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, a beautiful new moon in Taurus, and then a very powerful full moon that we just had here in Sagittarius. And it's leading us into this ongoing story that Jupiter and Venus are really expanding us into from a soul's growth perspective. We are expanding into these new versions of self. And as Venus goes into Gemini soon along with Jupiter, Venus is going to have a full Venus and it's going to complete a cycle. And that seems very powerful and potent. And so I just wanted to really call in wisdom from my guidance team for all of you who identify with the Sisterhood of the Rose, to really hear maybe a little bit more of what might be going on, what might be opening up and calling you forward right now. So listen in with your own discernment for what feels right and what feels true for you. Allow it to sit with you. And this may not resonate for everyone, but I am going to create videos for each rising sign, and I hope you enjoy. And also, please share this content. I'm bad at even saying to like and subscribe and share. So if you wouldn't mind, please do so if you find a benefit, or if you know of anyone who you suspect might be also a part of the Rose lineage of light, also a part of the Sisterhood of the Rose. Thanks so much and enjoy. Hello and welcome in, Libra Risings, to your intuitive reading with the Marys. We have used the pendulum here to choose the guidebooks that the Marys wanted to speak to for Libra Risings and all Libra Rising signs who identify with the Sisterhood of the Rose. And this reading is really meant to help support you on your journey, to help hopefully illuminate what has really been opening up for you since the eclipse season and that powerful eclipse that we had on April 8th. So let's get into it. All right, Libra Risings, and please take whatever resonates for you. This will potentially be showing up in a multitude of ways in terms of the symbolism for you in your own life. So just take anything that might resonate and apply it accordingly, and, allow anything that doesn't resonate to just fall away. The first card, these first four cards are going to be kind of opening up the overall themes of what might be going on. And I definitely recommend paying attention to any numbers that might be coming forward, because I noticed, especially for this reading, as the cards were being drawn, that there appears to be a lot of angel numbers. And I think there might be a lot of messages from Spirit really coming through this this reading for you. So the first card is about a fated meeting, and it really speaks to a man and a woman coming forward. So I don't think that it necessarily needs to reflect gender here, but it's about a coming together that was predetermined by your higher selves, which is sort of illuminated above in the card in that crystalline aura. And it's talking about
an entirely new or an existing relationship of yours potentially being lifted into a much higher experience. Karma from past lives may have brought you together, so it's important for you and the other party to maintain awareness about your individual and collective growth. Um, Also, to apply compassion to both yourself and to each other, and honor whatever karmic lessons might be coming forward. Um, as this could be one of the verbiage used is highest relationships, so just apply that however it feels to you. But to me, I'm feeling into maybe a soul contract type of relationship. This might be one of the most potent ones of those relationships in your lifetime. So it can also indicate that there is going to be a fated meeting with another about a work situation, a creative project, or an important purpose that you hold, which is also likely karmic. So again, apply this however it's showing up for you. But what's being indicated is that there's either it's already happened or it's about to happen, that you are moving into some type of karmic situation with another individual or another circumstance related to a creative project or to work or your soul's purpose. And for the Sisterhood of the Rose, I really feel like this is very much related to realigning us into our highest expression of what that soul's purpose might be, which is why I asked the Marys to join us for this reading, to really help support what is being illuminated by all of this powerful astrology that we're moving through. So let's unpack the next card, which is the Five of Roses upside down. And these first four were chosen from the Akashic Tarot deck, which is one of my favorites that I like to use. So this upside down Five of Roses, it says here, the reversal may reveal that one or more of your children or other significant children in your life are having some difficulties. The situation isn't easy, and those involved may be playing the blame game. This may take some time to work out. Others in the family or professional help may bring some benefit, but it may be a slow process. The advice is to try to bring support and maybe to learn how to bring support to your children without interfering too much in their karma and in their learning and their growth. To be patient and to be compassionate and to hold space for them, and know that there will be easier times to come, and to simply allow things to unfold as they will. So let's see. So this has a special note which discusses whether it's upright or reversed. You can look to the adjacent card, the one in which the boy is shooting his arrow and that the girl is looking. And so that card would have been our beginning card here, to do with a fated meeting that may be coming forward here for you shortly. So let's take a look at the next card that's coming through. We've got another number here, Libra Rising's Archangel Michael. And an upright Archangel Michael is the channel of divine power. He is seen here sharing his energy with two small children, bringing them great strength and support. He is about to pick up the boy, and he can help lift your energy too. When you receive this card in a reading, know that your energy reflects Michael's amazing strength, and this can be a time and a cycle of increasing power for you. One where you feel your courage growing and you know what action to take next. Trust your convictions, your power, and your resourcefulness. Michael upright heralds a time of great courage, force, initiative, and action. So don't delay. He's right there with you. Tap into the dynamo within you and take action that compels you. With Michael and your own power, you can move mountains and lift yourself into new heights. And then the fourth major card that we pulled here is number 20, upside down. And that is will, wisdom, and mind. In reverse, the meaning is at this time, you may feel that your authority has been diminished in some way. There may have even felt like there's been some type of a loss of position, or that your talents, your energies, or potentially even your personal connection with your guides might feel like it's in a state of disconnect, or you may even have been questioning your personal connections in some way. And this card says here that fire does not burn downward and water doesn't flow up. If you've been spinning your wheels, overthinking and going around and around the same issues with little clarity, it might be a time for you to basically come back to center. This card also reflects the coat of arms that shares a message that however you land from whatever it is that you might be moving through, you will stand, even in the difficult times that you may find yourself moving through. So take a step back and don't try to fight the forces. Allow yourself permission to get out of your head, to tune into your body, to do what you can to reconnect in with the connections that are always available and present to you, flowing to you within the earth plane, within Mother Nature, coming from that source of divine love that is present within the heart of the earth plane, as well as your connections to source that flow out into the universe and reach out into the source of all that is, of all pure potentiality, multidimensionality, out into the cosmic heart. And then also the connections that you have with your guidance team, with your angels, with the ancestors that are supporting you in your lifetime, with whoever you may identify as your personal spirit team, opening into messages that are also flowing to you potentially, potential solutions that might be waiting in your field. And instead of trying to control or figure your way through it with your mind, allow yourself to again return, as hard as it might feel in this moment. Sounds like you may be growing into a space where you're remembering your energetic mastery and how to return back into your connections when you are going through turbulence, when you might be going through some chaos, some trying times, and finding that way back into a state of openness and connection and receptivity to allow all of the potential solutions and blessings and ideas you hadn't even thought of to flow into you from the universe, from the divine, from all sources. And the interesting thing is your clarifying cards came with an extra card today. So we're going to continue to unpack this energy a little bit further. And so these are clarifiers. These are coming to us from the Ethereal Alchemist Tarot deck, which is another one of my favorite decks. Look at how beautiful the imagery is on these cards. And so, again, take this in however it resonates. There is a connection here to Venus and Cancer. And this card is a card that represents the merging of two souls, the flow of loving energy, how there's no separation within these waters, only peace, only love, only unity. And this card illuminates a connection between you and either a family member, a friend, a lover, a business partner. Perhaps it's speaking to something to do with this fated meeting. You'll have to tune in to that for yourself, but it's discussing the key to your sacred bond is that you are emotionally balanced and whole within yourself, each individually, and that you each equally respect the other person's opinion, honoring the other person's uniqueness and unique qualities that they bring into this partnership. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. Lots of talking today. Okay, the Two of Cups also can be a beautiful reminder about our intuitive connection. And potentially that is part of the journey that you're on, as a deeper development, as part of that energetic mastery that is a learning lesson right now. And it's reminding you to feel in to that mind-body connection and to perhaps just check in on your heart-mind coherence, dropping into a state of heart-mind coherence when you're making decisions, so that it ensures you're making these heart-based decisions that you know are what your intentions are truly as you're working to, build and grow. And it reminds us too to reciprocate within our connection. It reminds us about being in a state of honoring, being in a state of reciprocity and gratitude and thanks for messages that we receive from our guides, for our connections that we are tending with the Divine Mother and the heart of the cosmos. And as we are co-creating, as we are really feeling this alignment within our personal sense of self, we're feeling our intuitive gifts coming online even more. And so just expressing and being with yourself in that way, allowing yourself to be with this enhanced intuitive space that you now occupy, and being in a state of gratitude for that. I know for myself personally, my own experience with my guides within this last year and a half has grown to such a clarified, heightened state, which is what has finally given me the confidence to begin to create these videos for you, to bring this forward, because I know it's meant to be shared as part of my own purpose. And I really feel that a big piece of my work has been to remember into honoring that relationship and returning into this state. The Two of Cups also reminds me of harmony in our relationships, but within both our relationship with the earth and with the cosmos. We're returning into a state of right relationship and a state of unity consciousness. And I love all the Venusian energy that's coming through in these cards, Libra Risings, because this is beautiful energy. Okay, so here's another clarifier that is coming through, and it's an upside down Two of Wands, and kind of indicating that potentially you might be moving from a period of time where you felt a sense of lack of clarity, lack of direction, or perhaps feeling like you needed to go back to the drawing board and create a new plan of action for where you want to go in the future and what you want to venture toward. Or perhaps something has shifted recently for you and you're having to, out of necessity, go back to the drawing board and begin to rethink, what does your future vision now look like for you based upon the change that took place now? And so you may be in a time of revision and redefinition, redefining. So this is a beautiful time as we are preparing to enter into our Gemini new moon, which is really about aligning the sense of heart-mind coherence. It's a beautiful time to do some vision boarding or create some type of artistic collage or list or whatever works the best for you, whatever speaks to you. Just journaling about how you really envision your life in all the areas of life. Allow yourself to explore that as detailed as you can. And I like to think of it a lot of times in terms of like a house system astrologically, and what areas of life the houses govern, and just kind of check in with each of those areas of life and perhaps journal about the topics that the houses govern for you, such as your sense of self and, your value system and your beliefs, your finances, as well as your community connections, your connections to friends, to neighborhood networks, etc. Onward and onward through the entire astrological house system. I find that type of journaling can really help you to vision and to see into different areas of your life in terms of, what does that ideal picture look like here for me? And allowing yourself to dream big, go big of what truly is calling you passionately. And I think that is really the key here, is this introspective process of answering questions with yourself, tuning in more deeply with this deeper inner relationship with self in an honest and truthful way, so that you are developing a deeper understanding of what's in your highest alignment right now, what is truly resonating with you right now. And our next key here is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. And so she brings to us, this beautiful energy, angel of earth and a goddess of the light. She is someone who is able to create a comfortable, sacred space where all beings feel welcome, and is a woman who is abundant in resources, abundant in nurturance, with this innate desire to create harmony. And I don't know if that doesn't sound incredibly Libra rising, but hello. That sounds so Venusian in a way, and a very beautiful Libra type of Venusian expression to me. And so you may be being called, this card could be a symbol in a few different ways. So again, take what resonates the most for you. This could be that you are being called forward more into an expression of your own personal light and your gifts, the sharing of your resources that are flowing through you to help create this feeling of harmony. And so, again, if you are a sister of the Sisterhood of the Rose, you likely feel that call to be stepping forward and working on some type of an empowered expression of your personal light. And if you need any greater support with that, I just released a co-created program that really helps you to work more deeply with your energy, to tune in to that process for yourself. That was it's very filled with channeled offerings from the Marys to help support this process for us that is kind of underway. This card could also represent a self-love journey time, a time for you to really focus on your own inner healing, the development of your own personal strength and wisdom that is perhaps shifting you into that greater expression, that greater alignment of your personal mission that you are here to express, and that I feel we are all being kind of shifted into in a greater capacity. And so this is your fourth card here, which is interesting because it's the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles represents a pioneering spirit, ambitious, hardworking, very loyal, incredibly grounded, with a deep appreciation for nature, someone who thrives on routine and doesn't rush into action or force the flow of creation, but allows that slow, repetitive movement, that everyday effort, consistent practice to support their achievements. And it's a person who remains very focused on what it is that they're building. And when you receive this card, it's likely to bring you some sense of wealth and prosperity and financial abundance. And it could be a sign that your action steps and your ability to work with your energetic mastery and remain in flow is going to lead to how those consistent efforts show up for you as your prosperity and this financial abundance that's wanting to flow into you. And this is also a sign that if you happen to be considering investing in property as a way of working on a means of passive income, or if you had some type of innovative idea that feels ready to go, this is a sign that it's now a very good time to make that inspired action step. So I love that for you, Libra Risings. This is very promising. It's screaming to me about entrepreneurial spirits, and perhaps maybe even being called forward to begin expressing yourself and your gifts in some type of way. And then you got an extra bonus card that just fell out of the deck at the same time, and I felt it was meant for you, so I'm including it in our reading. And this is, of course, the High Priestess card, represented by the element of water and the moon. And the High Priestess represents our dreams, our intuitive connections, and that inner workings of our psyche, but it also reminds me into the ascension process that is really underway within the lineage, those who hold the lineage of light. We are in this season of blooming into that light, into greater and greater expressions through us, as us. And this is this connection into also this celestial mother and the guardian of the Akashic records, connected into the moon, governing mysteries, secrets, in terms of alchemical magic, like secret magic, governing emotions and basically the unknown. And so I think of that in terms of like the ether and higher dimensional aspects that we really access through, again, that heart-mind connection keeps coming up, but it's through that coherence that we have and that we can really bring into focus for ourselves, that is the coherence between our third eye and our heart space. And when we allow ourselves to ground our intuitive knowing, our third eye, within the space of our heart's coherence, and then through our breath work, through meditation, we can access into that space of all that is, of where our energy has been connected on any level, any dimension, any lifetime, whether here on this earth plane or out into the ethers. We are able to connect into, from a vibrational perspective, any energies that are in resonance with our field, and to draw upon those energies if needed. So this to me is a card that speaks again to our energetic mastery, but it also speaks to gaining skills, to increasing abilities, and potentially getting some type of downloads, or maybe new gifts are coming online for you, Libra Risings, which would be incredibly fantastic. But it's talking also about that balance. So look here, there's a little bit of a representation with the Kundalini balance of the yin and the yang. We've got the light and the dark, or the light, I did that backwards, the light and the dark over here. And so representing again polarity between kind of working through a lot of shadow work is what I feel, working through any shadow related to divine masculine that needed to be purged within your system, working through any shadow work that related to divine feminine that needed to be purged from your system, and really coming into your highest expression of self. And this can also indicate a time where you are continuing to separate yourself a bit from the crowd, to remain a little bit in solitude, focusing on what you're going through, maybe focusing on honing these gifts, these skills, maybe returning into a greater sense of your own sovereignty as you're doing some personal work, and working on that sense of energetic mastery for your own self. And so this card also is just wanting to remind you that the power of your intuition holds the key to your heart, and that as you are going through maybe an introspective period, whatever you might do, whether it's meditation, whether it's your dream work, whether it's journal work, working with cards, whatever form of divination you might engage, just pay attention to the messages that might present themselves to you through this time. Allow your intuition to speak to you and trust it. Trust what is coming through, and know that this is a time that your intuition is really heightened, and it's really wanting to communicate, we'll say, chatty. Maybe it's the Gemini season energy that is creating, honestly, the air trine. It's creating a whole sign house air trine, truly, between Pluto, Aquarius, and Libra risings. So we're having this very transformative, very airy flow, powerful flow of energy that sounds to me like it's coming to you from spirit and wanting you to tune in and simply listen into these higher aspects of self, into these higher dimensional realms that you can access through the portal of your heart. Okay, so this reading is kind of going long, Libra rising. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to be snipping off the front, because you also got an extra card with your soul guidance cards that came through. So this is from the Rose Oracle deck. Your first card is Rapture. And these cards speak to the deeper process that you may be experiencing from a soul growth perspective. And it was supposed to give you 3 guidance cards, but again, you got another extra where 2 came out at the same time, and so I'm just including both in the reading. So the first one really speaks to, I love this for you, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. And says, the Flora is the ancient Roman goddess of spring and flowers. In one myth, she was struck by Cupid's arrow and overwhelmed by love and completely breathless in a moment of rapture. She called for Eros. However, the sound rose came out of her mouth instead. So rose became another word for Eros, and also became a symbol for love, beauty, and passion. Many patriarchal religions have placed a shameful cloak around your sensuality, your sexuality, sex itself, pleasure, ecstasy, being in a state of rapture. And it's one of the most natural and pleasurable parts of life, which has become incredibly conditioned and judged. The rose invites you to heal from this and to remember and lean into the fact that pleasure, sensuality, your sexual preferences and expression, and your personal expressions of desires can come from some of the most sacred places and is one of the most miraculous things about our humanness. And so this card is also a message about receiving and giving love and pleasure, and wants you to know that your sensuality, your passion, your sexuality, they are sacred. They are holy aspects of you. And as you focus on connecting into these aspects of you, this will actually feed and grow what is unfolding. And I believe it's connected to this next card, which is called the crowning. And look at that. Initiation, thresholds, birth, a rebirth, and a seat at the table. And it says that there comes a time when the flower knows that it can no longer remain in the protective constraints of the bud. Somehow it needs to trust in the birthing energy and surrender to the unknown of the bloom. Oh, Libra Risings, I just got full body goosebumps for you. The same birthing energy exists within all of nature, and in birth, both physical and metaphorical. It's an initiation for you. This card is a crossing of thresholds and a walking through the gates of initiation, which requires great courage and great faith. There are rolling contractions, and it's not always straightforward on the path. As we transition from one thing to another, we're called to burst through the constraints of the seed and then the certainty of the bud, so that something new can bloom from within you. We're always birthing something, and deep inside, we know that the only way to surrender to the initiation is to surrender to the innate power within. This power is inner, but it's also connected with the same intelligence that exists within all of life. It's the same energy that tells the flowers when to bloom, and it was the same energy that was present when you grew in your mother's womb. Trust in that. It will carry you through. Surrender to what's wanting to be born through you. Life is always trying to initiate us into something more than who we truly are. Something more of who we truly are. Okay. Next card is the rose thread, which says, inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. And this is a card, again, of the mystic. So I'm really feeling that you are on an initiation into your own personal, intuitive soul growth journey to share your gifts. This is speaking to me of the reception of greater gifts, greater psychic abilities. And this is talking about a person who's in touch with the depths of their inner world, within the inner weavings of the world and beyond, way beyond into the cosmos. This is a person dedicated to listening to the mysteries, the mysterious voice whispering within, following your intuition and living within accordance to that. Allowing yourself to live by being guided by following the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking in the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity, and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol for the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single one of you. This is why it requires courage to trust that inner call, and those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you are being called to follow this initiatory path, led by that deep thread within. You may find you're in a place of great change and being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. Libra Risings, sending you so much love. And your extra card here is the Return, a new story. You decide, alignment, it's coming together. You've waited patiently for this moment. You've likely been working on the inner for some time, and now the outer is beginning to come into alignment. As the changing beings we're in a never-ending cycle of growth. That doesn't mean that we're constantly in bloom. No, this means that we're constantly changing. This card is like the bloom, however, it's more powerful than that. It heralds the coming and the going of a whole new way of being. An entirely new story has been written. This card heralds a great shift in your life. This often takes time, sometimes even lifetimes. Acknowledge how far you've come and how much you've grown. You're a part of creating change, not only in your own life, but in the world. Take a moment to really take that in. You're just one of many, but your being here matters. A petal in a rose of a new humanity, part of the forever unfolding. Things are aligning for you and around you. They're convening and coming together. You are in the right place at the right time. Your outer world matches your inner world. This card is delivering a message of harmony, coming together, and the embodiment of holding a clear vision for many years. You've been doing the groundwork to get this. Ooh, Libra Risings, I'm getting teary. Ooh, this is big goosebumps. You've been doing the groundwork to get to this moment right now. Perhaps for months, perhaps for years, or even lifetimes. So feel into that. Use this moment. You get to decide. It's a blank slate. You get to decide what happens next. You get to create it. And that is truly what this path is that the Marys have talked about so much, is this path of we are creating heaven on earth for ourselves. Okay, so feeling into this number 12, it is the gemstone turquoise and earth element, and the guidance word is perseverance. And so this is about your intentions, about holding your serenity, and it's about a gateway that you're walking through. And says, even though times can get tough and it may feel like obstacles continue to prohibit you achieving your goals, your perseverance is key to your abundance. Setbacks are a natural form of progression, but how you handle these unexpected events and disappointments is a true signifier of what achievements you are capable of and how far you can go. Perseverance is in your frame of mind. You can choose to either remain defeated or push through and find other ways to get everything you've dreamt of. The earth element represents stability, practicality, and hard work, which are essential for establishing firm foundation and boundaries. Boundaries to continue to build upon during your journey. No matter how many times you are deterred or shaken, you can return to this earthly elemental energy and remember why you started it all and what it is you are striving for. Turquoise assists in navigating through life's obstacles and enhancing energetic feelings of wholeness, serenity, and emotional balance. It acts as a gateway between the heavens and the earthly realm to give you the power to stay completely grounded but fluid enough to be deeply connected with spirit. And so A beautiful mantra to hold perhaps could be that I have the strength within me to overcome any obstacle that stands in my way. And not only that, I have my connections always available to me, my connections to spirit, to my guides, to my angels, and to the earth elements, to the cosmic forces that are truly flowing in and to me. And with my own personal energetic mastery, I will overcome. I hope you found this reading supportive, Libra Rising. So much love to you. I will see you again soon. Take such good care.